Washington has reacted to the recent collision between Chinese and Philippine Coast Guard vessels in the South China Sea, emphasizing the long-standing mutual defense treaty with its oldest Asian ally. The United States reaffirms that Article 4 of the 1951 U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty applies to armed attacks on Philippine armed forces, public vessels, or aircraft, including those of its Coast Guard, anywhere in the South China Sea, stated Vedant Patel, a spokesperson for the U.S. State Department, in a statement on Monday. According to Article 4 of the treaty, an attack on either nation in the Pacific region would prompt both countries to respond and meet the common dangers in accordance with their constitutional processes. The incidents occurred when the Chinese Coast Guard intercepted two Philippine Coast Guard cutters near the disputed Spratly Islands, specifically at Sabina Shoal, which is approximately 86 miles from the Philippine island of Palawan and lies within the country's internationally recognized exclusive economic zone. Patel accused the Chinese Coast Guard of causing structural damage and jeopardizing the safety of the crew on board. He added, "The United States stands with its ally the Philippines and condemns the dangerous actions by the People's Republic of China against lawful Philippine maritime operations in the South China Sea." He urged China to comply with international law and cease its dangerous and destabilizing conduct. In response, Mao Ning, a spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry, asserted during a regular press briefing that Sabina Shoal has always been Chinese territory. She reiterated Beijing's position that the Philippines was at fault for the collision and stated that China would continue to take resolute measures to safeguard its territorial sovereignty and maritime rights and interests. Beijing has criticized the Philippines for maintaining a prolonged Coast Guard presence at the uninhabited shoal, which, like much of the South China Sea, China claims as its own. In early July, China stationed its largest Coast Guard vessel off Sabina for about a month before replacing it with another ship. Additionally, vessels from China's so-called maritime militia surged into the area early on Monday, according to ship tracking data from Stanford University's Sealight project. Ray Powell, director of Stanford University's Sealight project, informed U.S. Naval Institute News that the collision has opened up a new front in the territorial dispute between China and the Philippines. China's Coast Guard claimed that its Philippine counterparts had rammed their ships after illegally intruding. Manila, on the other hand, accused the Chinese vessels of engaging in dangerous maneuvers and released images showing minor structural damage to both ships involved in the collisions. Monday's incident marks the latest in a series of confrontations, including collisions, unsafe approaches, and water cannon blasts over the past year, as Chinese forces assert Beijing's claims in South China Sea hotspots like Second Thomas Shoal, where the Philippines maintains a garrison of Marines aboard a grounded warship. Several Philippine military personnel have sustained injuries, raising concerns about what might trigger the defense treaty and potentially lead to a confrontation between U.S. and Chinese forces. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. stated in May that a willful act resulting in the death of a Philippine national would likely be considered a red line,